So I have a similar story to the one you just told me. It's not like that bad in depth, but so we have this guy that comes in like every like month or two to clean the rotisserie because we clean it, but we don't
Hmm.
like deep clean it. Like he
Yeah.
he comes in, puts like plastic over everything, and then sits there and gets rid of all the like soot and stuff that has
Yeah.
built up over the past like month or whatever. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but could you wait until we're done and gone?
Yeah.
Because he'll come in, it's like 9 o'clock, and we're sitting there still cleaning up, and he'll walk in and be like, "Oh, I thought you were done," and I'm like, "Well, no, we're not."
Yeah.
So, and then he just kind of gives us this awkward look, and then continues to go ahead and set up, and he's
Hmm.
getting in our way because it's like, it's like, dude, he walks in with like a bucket, like a huge bucket of tools, right? And he 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 uh he takes a step ladder, puts it. Now, mind you, it's like a 3 foot gap between the prep table and the rotisserie, and he puts a step stool right in the middle of that, and then proceeds to climb up said step stool, and um go and put the plastic over the rotisserie and the oven, and
Yeah.
to protect it from the soot when he rinses it off. But the thing is I'm not done with the floors yet.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm
you're just gonna
sitting
have to
there,
clean exactly where
yeah,
you are.
I'm sitting there trying to like spray around him,
Hmm.
and I'm getting the floors done, right? And now the floors entail I have to spray this drain cleaner crap, and then I have to spray this like bleach solution.
Yeah.
Then I have to scrub the floor a little bit with a broom, and then I have to squeegee it, spray it with water, and then spray it with sanitizer, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can't very well do that with this big dude in the way.
Yeah.
So I had gotten through the all the way to the water part, right? So I'm
Yeah.
spraying the water, and then that's when he decides it's a really good time to start spraying and getting all the soot off. So I'm sitting there trying to spray the water all the while this black crap is raining down. Now, the black stuff is not just coming down on top of the thing that he's like spraying. It's not just
Yeah.
going on the back
It's going
sink.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's getting all over everywhere. The sink in the back had black soot all over it. Don't know how, but it did. The the what the God, what is it? The the floor all around it looked completely black. The tables were getting soot on it because he didn't think, oh, maybe I should cover those too. No, he didn't do that. Um, he spread, and I understand this is his job, but he could do a
Yeah.
little bit better of a job at his job. And so there's black soot all over that stuff. And so I decide, you know what? I'm not even gonna like I'm not even gonna like I'm gonna spray sanitizer on the one side that doesn't have all this crap being done to it, and I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
do the other side because there's no point. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna spray it, and he's just gonna spray more soot, and it's just gonna fall on the floor, and I'm gonna just get pissed off because I
I just
can't do.
cleaned that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just clean that. So I decide, nope, I'm just gonna leave it because he said to just leave the hose out because he has to use it to clean the floor, and I'm like, well, he's gonna clean the floor anyway, so okay. So I was okay with that. The next day, I get complained at for the floors not being done, and I'm like, you do realize that the guy for the thing that was here last night, and they're like that you should have waited for him to be done, and I'm like, no, 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 because I was scheduled till 10 o'clock. Yes, however, I was done at like 9 whatever. You should not schedule him to come in until after we are done, which
Yeah.
means after 10 o'clock, not 9 o'clock when we
Or
close.
before I start on the floors.
Yes. No, not even before I start on the floors, because he's in the way no matter what. Because had I had to do the rotisserie at the end of the
Yeah,
night,
he needs to
I
finish
can't do
before you
that.
even start cleaning the
If
floors.
if
Cause like,
well, but he's in the way of so much more than just the floors. Like
yeah,
like if for some reason I hadn't gotten the rotisserie done, I'd have to have done that. If for some reason I didn't have the oven done, I would have had to clean that, and he's in the way of both of those. He's in the
hmm
way of doing the floors. He's in the way of anything prep wise on that side of the table that I have to do.
yeah,
Um, he's just dirt, and he's dirtying more than just the floors too. Like he's dirtying the walls too.
yeah.
Um, so it's
Look,
not
if he's gonna come in here and dirty everything we just spent time cleaning, then don't get on me for it not being clean.
exactly. And then
Because you were literally paying me to double clean
yeah,
everything.
and then the funny part was, um, because a couple days before that, I had been talked to about the floors before that,
hmm
and this had nothing to do with him coming in, but it's because I was tired, right?
hmm
Like I had just gone to school earlier in the day, and the night before I'd worked really really late to where I didn't get home till like 11:30, and I didn't actually go to bed till like 12:30, almost 1.
Dang.
And so I had to get up to go to school at like 11. So I guess in a way I got the full 8 hours of sleep, but the biological time clock, if
Yeah,
it's upset, even if you get the full
it's
amount
not
of time,
enough.
it's not enough. So I woke up at 11, and I go to class from 12:30 to 1:45, and then I immediately had to go to work cuz she scheduled me from 2:45 to 10.
Yeah,
So I work all that time, and at the end of the night I do the floors, right? Well,
yeah.
apparently earlier in the day people had dropped a chicken wing behind one of the fryers, right?
hmm
And so I missed it when I was doing the floors, because I usually check between like each of the things, and I did, but it was behind the fryer, not like next to it.
Yeah.
And I usually check in between, not behind it or under it. Very
How do
well.
you even drop that there?
I don't know. And so and so, and so and so when I was spraying the floors, it must have moved out, and I didn't notice it. And so in the morning, they were complaining because they were like, "Oh, well, I didn't do the floors." But the chick, Ada, who I had been with that night,
hmm
she even told Betty. She's like, "Hey, he did the floors, and I watched him do the floors, and
Yeah,
I helped him do the floors. We both did the floors, so you can't say that we didn't do the floors." And the thing is, at the end of the night, also, we have to have the manager on duty, like the store manager, come and check. And he does
yeah,
a checklist and makes sure all this crap is done, and he signs on the paper, right?
yeah.
So I'm sorry, but once he signs that paper, it's not my problem anymore.
hmm
It's his, because he should have checked better. So, number one,
Yeah.
I understand
If
that maybe I didn't do it, but he didn't check to make sure it was done. Therefore,
yeah,
the liability is his, not mine.
yeah. If he
So,
didn't see it and she didn't see it and I didn't see it,
what makes
then
you
it most
think?
likely wasn't there.
Yeah. And so in the morning,
How do you know somebody didn't break in the middle of the night and just drop it there? Hmm?
so the whole entire floor was done, and it was good. That it's just that one chicken wing is what made her think that the floor didn't get done. And I'm like, really? Like, we miss stuff sometimes. Hello.
Yeah,
And it's I don't understand why, you know, it just makes me so
yeah.
mad, because
We had that Saturday night I was telling you when everything was so stressful. We
uh
sent we sent the new girl and the other newest guy out to do math.
yeah.
That was a mistake because one, Nobody's showing them how to do mats.
Oof.
So basically, these like slip resistant mats we have,
Yeah.
it basically just collects the food droppings.
Uh-huh.
Uh, they take them outside and they spray them down, but that's all they knew. They didn't know you were supposed to cover them in degreaser. They didn't know you were supposed to scrub them, and they forgot to bring them inside at the end of the night.
Wow, dude, like
So basically, I come
seriously?
driving by on Sunday, and I see your mat sitting out, and I'm going, oh my. So I call Haley, one of the people with the keys, and I'm like, hey, the mats are sitting out. What do you want me to do? And she goes, don't worry about it. We'll get it tomorrow. And so we show up Monday, we get our stuff done. Me and Hunter are the last people there. We're sitting there, we're double checking everything. We're inside, we're going, okay, okay, everything's good. And basically our back door locks itself.
Yeah.
The front door has a key, and you can unlock the back door, but you have to have a key.
Uh-huh.
So we're able to, if we're inside, we can open the back door whenever we want. But outside, you can't. And so we're sitting there, and I'm like, do we have everything? Did we get everything done we needed to? And he was like, yes, I'm pretty sure, we're all checking. We're looking around. We're like, okay, good. I pull the door shut and then go. And he goes, what? And I go, the mats. And he goes, oh. And so
Dude.
we have to call Haley, who's already been there. She was already there and left. And I call her and I'm like, hey, me and Hunter are idiots. And she goes, what happened? And I go, we locked ourselves out and forgot the mats were still out here. And I was like, do you want to leave them? Do you want me to drive up to your house and get the key and bring it back to you or what?
Yeah.
And she was like, I'll drive up there. So she drove up there. I ended up throwing $5 in her window before she could throw them back at me. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe we forgot. And it was a good thing we did because we also we scrubbed the walk-in real quick
Yeah.
because that hadn't been done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many accidents that happen at work. I just
Oh, I couldn't even begin to tell you how many times we have people all.
oh, I could so so we hired this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her name I'm not going to say her name cuz I'm actually recording this for YouTube, but
Yeah.
I've been recording pretty much everything tonight. But um
Are you still playing a game then, I guess?
yes, I've changed to an online browser game. But
What game are you playing?
this game called Grepolis.
Crap, how do you spell that?
Grepolis. So anyway, so uh so we're working with this person, right? And she's not the smartest cookie. I think she might have a slight learning disability because she always constantly like takes notes down. So
Yeah.
at least she knows that she needs to take notes down for work, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, she I guess doesn't understand some of the things we say when we're talking about certain things at work because one of the day people had told me, "Hey, don't dump the fryers tonight because they weren't filtering, so the bottom is still full and the top is now full because we had to fry stuff." And instead of being smart cookies and taking the bottom and taking buckets and putting it back in the top, they just decided to freaking leave it like morons and fill it again. And I'm like,
Yay.
that's kind of a dumb idea, but whatever. Okay,
Okay,
so
now that I know this.
we won't dump we won't dump the oil tonight, right? So I was busy doing the dishes in the back, and or, I told her not to dump it. Apparently, I was like, hey, so we can't dump the fryers tonight because of the whole issue with what was going on. And she's like, oh, okay. We don't dump them tonight? And I'm like, yeah, we don't dump them tonight. So she
We don't open them tonight. Yes, we don't open them tonight.
she opens the bottom, she turns the open valve on and dumps the fryer. It starts overflowing all over the floor. And instead of closing it and coming and telling me what's going on, she leaves it open and
Oh
comes
my
in and she leaves it open and is like, Chris. And I'm
god!
like,
I made a
I'm
boo
like,
boo.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And she comes over and she's like, um, we have an issue. And she runs really fast and then closes it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, was I not supposed to drain it? And I'm like, no. I said don't dump it. And she's like, oh, that's what you meant. And I'm like, what? Like, what else does don't dump the fryer mean? Like, 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 really?
Especially on the floor. What are you?
Like,
What?
like common sense. Seriously. And so I'm looking at this thing, and mind you, it's so full. It's so full that it is still draining onto the floor underneath the fryer. And now the grease is like, it's like it's like draining into the drain. So we have to stop that because that's gonna clog the drain. So I had to run in the back, tear down a couple cardboard boxes, and then put it
Yeah.
over the drain. Right? Oh, it gets better. So to make matters worse, we're sitting there, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what to do, because I thought we had this powder stuff that you're supposed to dump on it to like get it up, like it's supposed to
Mhm.
absorb all of it, right?
Mhm.
Well, we didn't have enough. We had like we had like 1/8 of a jar of it, and it was gonna take for this type of spill like 3 complete jars. so so, so I put as much of it down as I can, and I'm like,
Trying to spread
yeah,
it
yeah,
thinly.
okay. So when you pour this crap on it, it's supposed to make it a slightly wet powder, but
Mhm.
you're supposed to be able to sweep it up with a broom, right?
Yeah.
No, 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 no. It made it like the bottom of the ocean sand. That's what it turned it into. And there was still a lot of this puddle of just oil. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't, the boxes don't like absorb any of it. They just buffer it. And when you pick it up, it just like drips off of the cardboard boxes. There's not enough powder, and I don't know what to do. So my best idea was to take the broom and the dustpan and sweep the grease into it and then dump it in a bucket. So I sat there for like 45 minutes sweeping up this oil into this dustpan and dumping it in buckets. And I'm like, all the while, she has gone to the back room and gotten the squeegee and is like squeegeeing the rest of it into like a puddle for me, but it's not doing much because even though you're like squeegeeing like excess oil, it's still
Yeah.
greasy on the floor. So 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 I'm like, I get all of it up, or as much of it as I can, right? But it's still slick, and
Yeah.
it's still oily to the point that slip resistant shoes are doing like almost nothing. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do because we don't have any more of that powder crap, and I'm like, I'm closing that night, so I don't want to be here till like 12 o'clock at night, all because of an
Cleaning.
oil spill,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, okay, I don't know what
EP.
I moved like the table and the saran wrap station, and I'm like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. There's a big tub of like this industrial like soap in the back, and we're gonna just like douse the floor with that. And then I'm gonna take a broom and I'm gonna scrub the floor, and then I'm gonna take the hose and I'm gonna rinse it down. And then I'm gonna take the squeegee at the same time that you're rinsing it down, and we're gonna squeegee it. And I thought maybe that the soap would get it up, because
Yeah.
it's like super heavy industrial like Dawn crap.
Yeah.
So I do that, right? And it looks to me like and it feels to me like the floor is fine. So I'm like, okay.
No.
So I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Well, it dries, and that powdery crap that I had used earlier got
Hmm.
stuck in the tile grout, and when it gets wet, it looks like the tile grout. Well, when it dries, it's not. So now there's like these cracks filled with it that I have to get up. And then the floor has dried and it's still greasy. So I'm like, okay, but it's not that greasy. So it shouldn't be like too hard at the end of the night to
It's
use.
not as greasy.
Yeah, it's not as greasy. So I'm like, okay, at the end of the night, I'm going to be able to do the floors normally and it'll get it up, right? Because I'm going to be using bleach on the floor. And that definitely would get it up, right? You'd think so. Well, at the end of the night, um, I have the manager come and check, right? He goes through, he's like, okay, yeah, looks good. In the morning, when I get there, my manager's like, you didn't do the floors, did you? And I'm like, I did. And then the store manager comes over. Mind you, I had a bad day at school, and when I came to work, a customer was like being completely bitch about wanting a sub sandwich, and when I made it for her, she wanted everything in it. So when everything was falling out of the sub sandwich, she complained that it was falling apart. And I'm like, well, don't get so much on your damn sandwich, like really.
Yeah.
And
He's that bitch.
so she went and complained to my manager about that. So when he came and talked to me about that, he also talked to me about the floors. And he's like, you have to do the floors. Why didn't you do the floors last night? I'm like, I did twice. Ask her. I did the floors twice, and I was working with her again that night. And the thing for the I had to put pans underneath the fryers because they were still leaking at the end of the night
Uh-huh.
with oil. So I had to put pans under it. And mind you, there's still half like instead of fixing the problem and taking the oil from the bottom again, the day people just filled up the top again. And I'm like,
Stop, please.
exactly. I'm like, God damn it. Why?
Somebody please help me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm working with her again, and
She did not do it again.
no, no, no. She made sure not to touch them. She was like,
Correct.
you deal with it tonight. I don't want to screw up again." But but the store manager was like complaining about the floors, and I told him, I'm like, I did it, and he's like, use the freaking soap again, and you need to get this crap out from the grout, and I'm like, I got it up last night. I thought I did, right? So I spent another like hour cleaning the floors during like the non-rush area of the day, and it set us back another hour like the night before. And so I'm like, okay, this has to be the end of this, right? Like I cleaned the floors at least 4 times now. This has to be done. No, no, it was not. That night, everything went off smoothly. The manager at the MOD at the end of the night checked me off. The next night, guess who I'm working with again? Yeah, that's right, her. She doesn't know how to prioritize crap because like we'll need to get the dishes done so that way we can fill up the new stuff to put in the hot case, and she'll be cleaning the rotisserie even though we have to put more chickens in. Like, why? Just what? Or she'll be cleaning the slicers when we're trying to tear down the fryers. Like, we need to get that stuff done. The slicers are open till 9 o'clock. The fryers are done at 6. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Stop with the freaking slicers. So
Stop touching. Listen, obey.
yeah, exactly.
Nine.
So I come in the next night, right?
Mm-hmm.
The store manager comes back again and tells me again that I need to do the floors. Mind you, I'm not the one who caused the mess. The one who
Yeah,
caused the mess is standing 2 feet away listening to this happen.
and not doing a
Uh,
thing to like even help
yeah,
you,
exactly. He's basically like he
tearing you a new one.
tearing me a new one for her mistake. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, why?" So anyway, he's complaining because apparently the oil is getting tracked out onto the floor outside of the deli and it's like ruining the tile floors or something.
Oh, boo!
And I'm like,
Crying at
well,
it.
maybe, just maybe, if we had more of that powder crap, maybe I could get this up.
Yeah.
So turns out we got more powder. So I take it upon myself to take the the soap again. I have to move everything out of the way again. I have to move. This time I move all the fryers out of the way, the fryers, and move the oven. And I put the soap down. I scrub it. I spray it, and then I take like 3 of those containers full of that powder crap and dump it on the floor. I just straight dump it on the floor because I am not dealing with this crap again. I don't want to make a mistake again. I don't want to do it again. So I dump as much of this stuff on the floor as possible and I sweep it up, right? I make
Mm-hmm.
sure to get all the cracks, all of the freaking cracks. I got everything. I made sure. I even scraped the floor underneath one of the fryers because it had this black gunk that was stuck down there. I scraped that up with a freaking spatula. Okay, I did these floors and made them like immaculate. Like you could fry and you could cook like a 5-star dinner on these floors. I swear to God. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, nobody better complain. So I took pictures of the floor to show my manager that I did the floor
Yeah.
so that way he can't say crap. Next night, he complains because the drains weren't done. And I'm like, you know what? You know what? I think I've had enough of the last 3 days of people just like, oh, mind you, that night also, the day people still hadn't fixed the fryers. So he still couldn't dump them. The next day, when he had complained to me about the drain, I cleaned the drain, right? And they finally fixed the fryers. So I could dump them, right? At the end of the
Yeah.
night, I go to dump one of them, and it won't drain. So now I'm like, what's wrong with this? So I'm looking at the bottom, like I open the bottom area, and I'm looking at the bottom, and I'm fiddling with the open close valve, and I open it, and like a couple drops fall out, and then when I close it, nothing comes out. I open it, a couple drops fall out, and I'm like, it has to be clogged. So I take this gigantic like metal rod and shove it down the middle of the fryer,
Diggity.
and then like move it around a lot, and then it starts draining. Well, when it is done draining, there's like 4 inches of just like the stuff that you coat chicken with, the batter.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
4 inches of fried batter in the bottom of this thing, and I have to take it out. So I had to go get a spoon and scrape it out and put it into the garbage can.
Well,
And it's and the
okay.
thing and the thing is it hadn't drained of all the oil. So as I'm doing it, it's like liquidy, so it's getting all over the outside of the fryer as I'm scooping it out.
Okay. Let me ask you. One. How does yours drain? Like.
Like the for the fryers,
Yeah.
like it's just a circular drain on the bottom and it dumps into this pan in the bottom that has a filter on it, and then you filter the oil back up. So when you dump it, it goes down to the bottom. You filter it, and it goes through the filter, and then back up into the
See, that's
the
not how ours
basin.
works.
So we don't. It's really not that difficult. But when you have to drain it, if it's clogged, you have to clean it out, and
Well,
that's painstaking and
how
laborious.
we clean ours out is like we don't have like nearly as fancy as yours. Ours, we have to put a bucket under the spout
Yeah,
and dump into that, stop it, carry the spout out the or carry the bucket out the back, dump it into our grease,
yeah,
back in, and keep doing that until all the grease is out.
yeah,
We see, of course, we're gonna get fry bits and okra bits caught in there,
yeah,
and so one day it stopped coming out, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's clogged. So I grabbed this skewer that we use for the jambos, like giant sandwiches we make. Uh, totally just said where I work. Screw it, I don't care. Uh, it's just a wood skewer, and we use a bunch of them. So I grabbed one of them, and it's completely open, and nothing's coming out. So I'm holding the bucket right there,
yeah.
and I start, wiggling around in there in the spout,
Uh huh.
and so it starts trickling out. And I'm like, oh, good, it's working. And so I keep going, and it starts speeding up, and I'm like, okay, good. And I'm adjusting the barrel because of course it's gonna move. The water's gonna flow, or the grease is gonna fly further out. As
Yeah,
it goes.
yeah.
Well, all of a sudden it decides to kick out everything that was left. And then I was wearing grease, and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
So I
that's
close it, and I'm like,
wonderful.
that made my day great.
Yeah,
And so I finished draining it. And see, what we used to do is we would take a different barrel and we would dump water into it and fill it up, and then fish out all the bits that floated to the top. Keep doing that, knock up what's on the bottom, kind of, shake it up a little bit with just something abrasive. We had this long metal thing we stuck down there and screwed around with it, and then filled it with water, and bits would float to the top. But
yeah,
then eventually, Betty, the manager, she got a hose. She attached it to one of the sinks, just
yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah.
nice, real pretty afterwards because it all sprayed through
Yeah,
the drain.
yeah.
You should try that. See if you could get a hose attached to one of those sinks.
Well,
And
well, the thing is, like, we have this thing that automatically like, we have a hose that we can connect to the bottom to drain it
Mhm.
out, but and then it goes into a big tank, and then it goes away when they go to
oh
drain it.
yeah, if you're
Well,
keeping if you're keeping the oil, you can't get water in it.
yeah, well, but it's just like that the chick that made that mistake cost me 3 days of
Mm-hmm.
grief. And then the funny part was, like, I told Betty about it,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Oh, really? Well, we need to get the you needed to get the floors cleaned on the first day, right?" And then, like, a week later, the same shit happened to her, to where she actually, like, okay, well, we have frozen chicken wings, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't, like, lower them in slowly because they're frozen, it'll overflow the oil.
Mm-hmm.
So she just dropped them in and forgot, and they overflowed all over the place. And she had to do the same thing I had to, where she had to clean the floor. And then when I came back and she told me about it, I'm like, "Oh yeah, so now you know how it feels." And she's like, "Actually, yeah, you know what? I understand now how hard it was." And I'm like, "Thank you for once, thank you,"
That's
because
hilarious.
because it's like a lot of the managers don't realize the crap that happens,
Yeah,
and then
it's
they
a lot
don't
easier said than done.
exactly. So it just I I I thought it was kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, and then the time off thing. I can't remember if I said this or not, but the time off thing. Uh, I already bought the tickets for the flight to Texas, and we're not supposed to take time off apparently, but nobody ever told us that,
Yeah, he
and
told me
all that
that
crap.
stuff.
But the only excuse is for religious reasons,
Yeah.
but it's like that
Yeah.
anybody
I
could use
take.
that then. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
take
take
a
New Year's
religion
very religiously.
I'm gonna take a religious sabbatical to Texas, and my religion states that if you ask me about it, I can't tell you. Like, I mean, I'm sure they'd see through it, but they can't say anything about it.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
Actually, legally, they aren't allowed to ask you about it.
exactly. So it's kind of like, well, if you're gonna bar me from taking the vacation, then I'm either gonna be sick for a week and a half, or I'm gonna be on a religious sabbatical. It's
It's
one of
a
those two options.
it's a spiritual journey to find oneself.
It's a spiritual journey to cure my sickness.
Yes.
Just throw both of them in there.
Well, why do you have to go to Texas? I must return where I came from when
That's
I
where
was
the
healthy.
that's where the sickness originated, I believe.
They,
And
s-
they
they say
have a
you must
cure.
return to your home, and home is where the heart is. And deep in the heart of Texas is where they're just looking at you with this. You're so pulling this out of your ass, aren't you? It's like, yes, I am, but you can't do nothing about it.
And then you just look 'em straight in the eyes, and then you're just like,
What
deep
are you
in the
gonna do?
heart of Texas, and
Listen,
then
man,
leave
they,
for your vacation.
they're like that isn't a religion. And you look in the eye and go, fire me over it.
Anything's a religion if you want it to be. Seriously,
Like
anything.
there's a religion that says you're allowed to carry pot in your backpack.
Well, I mean, dude, Scientology.
Actually,
Dude,
says you're supposed to.
Scientology is based on science, and people call that a religion.
Mhm.
Atheism, that's technically considered a religion, even though
Did you
they
know
just
there?
don't believe
Did you
in
know there are
religion.
atheist churches?
Yes. So it's like you don't believe in any form of God or religion, yet you have churches
I want to show
for
you this
your
video.
religion.
They
Okay.
have they have basically they're anti-theists. What they are,
Well, yeah,
anti-God.
but it's still whatever belief
They
you
aren't
have,
atheists, like I say.
whatever belief you have is considered your religion,
Hmm.
regardless of what it is. You could believe that aliens are going to come back and steal us from the planet, and
I
if you
believe
believe wholeheartedly that they are the greater being or whatever, then that's your religion, dude. Like
I
that's
believe in
what you
Chief
believe.
Keef for 2023.
Okay, that's your religion, like seriously, and they
What's your
can't
religion, Chief Keef?
they can't say anything about it, so it
What's your religion, Kane?
it just it I just oh my god. So I just think it's funny because you can just make something up and they can't dispute it. Like like I have to go and sacrifice pigs to Queen Latifah
So
um
you go, I have
because I like the
to
movie
kill.
Taxi, and it turns me on, and that's why God is greater.
Because
And
the
they can't
gang told
say
you
anything.
so.
They cannot say a single thing. They because
Well,
you're just like, and that's my religion, and they're just like, well, it's stupid, but okay.
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But
But you
okay,
believe it, so it's
here,
your religion.
here, you gotta watch this. This is hilarious. He's a Christian comedian, but he hears about the atheist churches. He's like, "What do you sing at atheist churches?" And so he comes up with these the kids' song, atheist churches.
Is it Tim Hawkins?
Yeah,
Dude, Tim Hawkins is funny. Okay, I don't know if I got the message. Like, did you send it or?
I
Oh,
sent you a
oh,
link.
it says
Yeah.
it. Razor's not responding, so I gotta wait.
Oh,
Cause I love how it's like Razor Comms is not responding in the little window thing, but we can still talk fine.
yeah.
Like, all right,
Watch
that's
as you cut out in the middle of talking. Like,
yeah,
oh, now that I call you out on your mistakes, you're just gonna. I see how it is.
yeah. Now it sent it. As soon as I'm just like, oh well, it's not responding, then it's like, oh, here you go.
You're like, oh crap, they're onto us.
quick, while we still have their attention. God dang it. Okay, can you just fucking go? Go. I always think that I could be a comedian based solely on the amount of stuff I hear and come up with on a daily basis. If I remembered every single thing that I ever heard or came up with, I would be like the greatest comedian ever.
Yeah.
Because there's just stuff that I find hilarious or I come up with. Alright, hold on, I'm watching.
I was reading this thing in the news several months ago, and it was a news story talking about the existence of atheist megachurches. I mean, what do you do there? Do you sing worship songs at an atheist church? What do you say? Like, shout to the void, all the earth, let us sing. Power and majesty, praise to nothing. What do you sing to?
Are you playing this on your recording?
Man, do they have children's church at the atheist megachurch?
What?
You can't do it if it's going on YouTube. Right.
I can't what?
You can't play YouTube videos.
Why?
Copyright infringement.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
It's stupid, but that's how it is. It's basically he gets money for people watching his video. But if they watch your video to watch his video, then he's not getting paid for his content.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
If I don't watch the exact whole video, then it doesn't matter.
It's supposed to be like first 30 seconds you're allowed.
Oh.
I don't know. It's very specific on certain ones.
Well, I'm like a minute and a half in, so. Oh, I mean, oh well. If they say anything about it, I don't think. Well, no.
Yeah,
If
I don't think you're big enough for it.
No. If I don't monetize it, it doesn't matter. I don't think. As long as I'm not making money off of it, because I'm still promoting him. Kind of.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not big enough that they care.
Maybe just link his channel in the description.
True.
Accidentally alive. If you're weak, you won't survive.
Wow. But yeah, he's funny. He really is funny. Yeah. Oh well. But no, dude. Have you ever gone on LiveLeak?
What?
LiveLeak.com.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Dude.
Speaking of which, freecreditreport.com.
No, dude. LiveLeak is like the place to find all the messed up crap in the world that you can't find anywhere else. Oh my god. You know what? I'm gonna look up this video, and it's kind of funny and kind of like messed up, but I have to find it.
Well, send it to me, but I actually have to go now.
But wait.
I'm just gonna stop.
You must find it. You must see this video and tell me what you think, because it is funny and entertaining. Alright, I gotta search it. But I should. Top items all time. Okay. It was in here. Like, I think it was the third page. Let me see.
Yoga pants.
Okay, so I'll give you the idea of the setting. So it's a bunch of bike riders, right?
Mm-hmm.
On a highway.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Range Rover.
Mm-hmm.
And the bikers get rowdy. And let's just say it doesn't go well for the bike riders.
Okay. Here, watch this. I
It's
think you'll like this one.
freaking hilarious. But I gotta freaking. I want to find it because it's freaking like. It took me forever to find it. And it was freaking hilarious.
Man, watch the one I just sent you. Hilarious.
hold on. I really need to find this freaking link.
Super famous, super famous, super
Oh wow,
famous.
dude, there's so much stuff in here too. Like there's one this dude shoots himself in the head and um bunch of crap like that. Dude, where is it? I know it was here. Canadian drive-by. Dude, what the fuck? What? What do you mean no freaking results found?
Play the video I sent you.
Hold on. I gotta find it. I really gotta find it because it's so funny. Like, I swear to God.
Hang on. The lyrics of this
Oh,
I just heard. He goes, I am a vaginal terrorist. 6911. I took down dude shit.
oh, dude. Okay, I found it.
Did you even hear me?
No, I didn't. What did you say?
He goes, I am a vaginal terrorist. On 6911, I took down these two chicks.
Okay, I found the URL. Okay, you gotta watch this crap. It's freaking like. And the funniest part is this video is posted by one of the bikers that was in the whole like ordeal, and he thought that it was gonna help the case of the bikers, but it doesn't. It just proves that the one biker brake checks the guy.
Yeah.
So you'll see what I mean. It's at like the 50-second mark, and then that's when all hell breaks loose. Like, let me know when you're watching it, because I'm gonna watch it for my viewers real fast, because Live Leak is free and I don't need to freaking do anything with copyright issues. But I'm not even gonna have the sound on though, because I don't need the sound. But it's so funny because it's a New York bike riding club type thing. Oh, I guess he left. Did he leave? He left? Yes, he left. Alright, well, for my viewers who are watching, he brake checks the guy, as you can see right there. The guy brake checked the guy. He hit the bike, and then the bikers all surround his car and start hitting his vehicle with their helmets and their fists, and they start surrounding him, and the guy freaks out and fears for the safety of him, his wife, and his 5-month-old son. So he takes off because he's freaking out. Bikers give chase for a good like 5 minutes. They catch up to him, and I forget where it is, but they catch up to him, and they actually try to yank him out of his car, and he takes off and runs over a couple other ones somewhere along in this video. And then right around the 5-minute mark, yeah, see right here, they try to jack him out of his car, and so he takes off again, running over another bike and at least one other guy. And then they finally catch up to him at some point here. He gets stuck in traffic, like right here. He gets stuck in traffic, and then the bikers basically assault him. They destroy his windows, and they assault him, and he actually gets injured and taken to the hospital. No charges were filed for the driver because he was acting in self-defense and in his family's defense. And this is just wow. The fact that these idiots, I can't describe to you how maddening that makes me, or how frustrated that makes me because of that. And they blamed it all on the driver, and it's like, it's not the driver's fault. You guys were basically assaulting him and his property, and he just needed to get out of there. So, anyway, I don't know if you guys like the stories and the chats and the random tangents we go off when me and him are recording, but hope you guys like the videos. Like and subscribe, guys.